everybody. We've got people signing in. I start these things just a little bit early because that's how I was raised. If you're not early, you're late. So I kick things off just a couple minutes early. So we're going to let people sign in, let people be on time as well, because not everyone rolls that way. So say hello if you're in, if you've joined us. Let me know where you're coming from, if you're what state you're in. And welcome. We've got a little bit of time before it actually kicks off into 1 o'clock. Henry Johnson, hello. Oh my God, it has been a really long time. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing really good. Changed things up a bit. So not really doing interior design anymore. I'm completely focused on the Designers Collaborative. So that's why you haven't heard from me in a while. But it's good for you to be on board. Maybe you'll get to see what we're all about here. We still have another minute. I'm going to give everybody plenty of time to get in here. So I hope everybody is having a good day. It is really sunny and warm here in New Jersey. It's lovely. We have more rain in our forecast for the rest of the week, but you know, the plants are loving it. So there's positives. So I'd love to hear from you in chat boxes to say hi, where you're from. Just if you're feeling friendly, you don't have to. All right. So I'm Heather McManus, and I am the founder and CEO of the Designers Collaborative, and I'm going to share with you my screen. And we're going to go here. Okay, so I'm going to try and move the little facey guy over. Okay. So welcome again. This is behind the scenes of a buying group, what TDC is all about. Presented by me, Heather McManus. Like I just said, founder and CEO of the Designers Collaborative. I created this because I needed it for myself in my interior design business. And then it has grown and grown and has now become my full-time gig. So here we go. So in a nutshell, the Designers Collaborative, aka TDC, is a buying group or buying collective open to interior designers, decorators, and stagers in North America. TDC has over 500 members, so our buying power gains us the best price tiers that vendors offers, so members make the most profits. We offer community of designers and accounts to help your business grow. So TDC meets designers where they're at and quickly lifts them up with education, tools, templates, and community. And we invite designers from all levels to become members. So you don't need 30 years experience. You can join with a couple years and really skyrocket what you can do. Our community, oh, it's so good. TDC has a thriving community of professional designers from across North America who are dedicated, experienced, and generously share their knowledge with fellow members. Within no time of becoming a member, designers are hiring help, opening studio spaces, attending major trade shows, and experiencing game-changing profits. It really will skyrocket your success. I love seeing members just totally take on new possibilities and up level once they've joined. We've been called the best investment ever. So access and profitability. Rest assured, TDC has the best prices on over 300 top vendors you know and love. We have you covered for every room in your client's project at every price point and in every style. You will not find better pricing anywhere, and for that matter, you won't find a larger list of vendors anywhere, which means TDC members make the most profit, and the creative freedom that members have at their fingertips is outstanding. 300 vendors to choose from is almost overwhelming. It's a lot. You have a lot of creative freedom. We are organized and transparent. TDC is organized and easy to use with so many helpful custom tools you won't find anywhere else. Members have access to our full system, allowing them to see pricing for themselves. There's no waiting for somebody to get you a price. And then reliable. TDC maintains a self-funded emergency fund for the exceedingly rare event of members acting in bad faith. We are committed to providing a totally secure place to purchase. Here is some inspiration, a little taste of what interior designers in our group have created. These are some of their professional photography that they have sent. Obviously using TDC as source for these products to make these great projects happen. So let's dive into the weeds a little. So some vendors have 1 to 2 price tiers, while others have 7 or more. There's a crazy variety of how vendors go about things. So I want to break it down for you a little bit more. So stocking dealer, that is the ultimate goal. You get 65 to 70% off of the retail pricing. Then there's something called wholesale plus, which is generally 50% plus an additional 20% off the retail price. Then there's wholesale, just plain old wholesale, 50% off the retail price. A designer discount is usually anywhere from 20 to 30% off retail. And if you guys have been sourcing, you know it can be a lot less than that. But these are, generally what things are out there in the wild. And then retail. If you go to a local store, you'll get a 10% commission by buying through them. So here we're going to break down, like if you had $100,000 of furniture for an ideal client, where you source from makes a big difference. So let's say we go to that retail store that's near us. We're going to make 10% on the 100,000. That's $10,000 in commission. Now, if you went to a design center or showroom, you'd get 20 to 30% off. So that's a $30,000 profit. If you had your own wholesale account, you get 50% off. That's a $50,000 profit. And if you have the Holy Grail, which is very difficult to get, stocking dealer account, that's 65 to 75 or 70% off, giving you a $70,000 profit. So designers really need to make the most profit with every design project. Every design project you make, you have to buy at the best price to make the most money on every single thing, because as we all know, that money flies in and it flies out. The bills get paid and you need to be paying yourself too, and all of the things. So that's why this is so important. So let's pop the champagne. It's time to make some money and see how it can really be done. Okay, this is a real life family room profit chart. This happened to be my client, so I broke it down so that I could see exactly how it was and show everybody here. So this is just one room. It's a family room. I did not include the window treatments on here, but I did make about $8,000 of profit on the window treatments as well. I just didn't include it in all of these figures. So if we break it down, you've got your upholstery atop. So it was a sofa, a recliner, a chair and ottoman, and this includes the freight. So what the client paid was a little over $10,000. My cost purchasing through TDC was $57.94 and 60 cents. So the profit that I made on the upholstery part was $4,841 and 40 cents. Then the case goods. So we've got a coffee table, we did 2 end tables and a console table, again, including the freight. All of these include freight. So the client paid $36.60. I paid $12.83.70. So my profit was $23.76 and 30 cents. So then we did lighting. So we did a ceiling mounted chandelier, a table lamp, and a floor lamp, again, including shipping. The client paid a little over $4,000. I paid a little over $2,000, so that my profit was $1702.96. And then lastly is the florals, accessories, all the we did vases and frames and brackets and book and a clock and all the little things. So I charged the client the $2,000, and change there. And then what it cost me was just a little over $1,000, so that my profit was $896.76. So total for all of these, for this one room, is $9,817.42. That's a very good profit margin. So I want everybody to know their numbers and go through when they're done with the project to see exactly what it is that they made and revel in that number. Just enjoy that number. And if you're not enjoying that number, if you're like, boy, I thought that was more, you might want to buy it at a better discount so that you can make more money on it. I also want to say in here that I go through and check the internet to make sure that I am not overpricing from what my client is going to find. So all of the client paid prices are checked against internet prices. And this is an actual job with real figures. This is what things really wound up being. I didn't break it down into exactly, this sofa was this and da da da. Like, this is enough, right? So the client's getting a really good price. I'm getting really good profit. And so it's just a win-win. Okay, so here's some purchasing comparisons. So we didn't feel comfortable sharing exactly who the competitors are on this chart, so we just went with competitor A, B, C, and D. Can tell you one of these examples is Daniel House. I know they're very popular and I hear good things, so if that's working for you, great, but check out TDC's pricing here. In the green column, 4 hands, Ferris dining chair. TDC at the bottom, we have it for less than anybody else. We have it for $310.58. That is less than anybody else on here. Visual comfort, this is a chandelier. Again, TDC's price at the bottom, much less than anybody else. And then hooker at the end is the Leesburg's dresser. way less than everybody else by about $700. So where you buy from, even in, so-called to the trade, can make a really big difference. On top of amazing profits and creative freedom, we have an amazing community. These photos are mostly from High Point because we meet up with each other. We will have a whole schedule of days and places to meet up, parties to go to together, so that you're not alone. It is so much more fun to tour a showroom together than it is to just kind of wander through all by yourself. And if you have never been to High Point Market before, we are kind of the best way to christen yourself to get yourself there, because you are going to have um, knowledge beforehand, because we share, like, how to go about planning, where to stay, how to get around, all those questions we answer for you beforehand as newbies or as people who are going, for the 15th time. It's like, what's the good party this time? Where has the best lunch? How do you get from here to there? Oh, did anybody see this vendor? So the community part of going to High Point and other events, we also do things in New York City. We will occasionally do KBIZ. So the meetup, the community, it's really powerful as well. Okay, so here's some social proof of other people who think we're also trustworthy. So, I'm sure you've heard of a lot of these coaches and podcasts. We have been able to be featured on all of these, and there's a few more coming out soon. Okay, so here is a little peek into what we do and how it works. So in the first bubble is the shared drive, which is where everything exists for TDC. And so you have 24/7, 365 days a year access to the drive, putting you in the driver's seat. So the first bubble, you see all of the folders that we have listed out. So the main folder has our main spreadsheet that you confirm, and see everything in a shot, along with a couple other helpful, one-off folders. And then each individual vendor has their own folder. So I'm going to break this down a little bit more, but this is the general idea of what you're going to see once you get into the drive as a member. Second bubble is the vendor list. So A to Z list plus the ultimate source guide. So the first page is literally every account we have listed in alphabetical order from A to Z, with what the price tier is, if it's a low, medium, or high vendor, what type of product they sell. Are they just rugs? Are they case goods and upholstery? All of that listed on here. And then the account holder that you would be contacting is also listed on that one first sheet. And then after that, we break it down into many pages to make it so easy for you to find things, because 300 vendors, that's a little overwhelming if you don't know. So we make it easy for you with the ultimate source guide. So one page is dedicated to upholstery vendors. Another page is dedicated to case goods. Another page for rugs. Another page for lighting. Another page for kids and baby. Another page for Made in America. It goes on and on. Outdoor, you name it, we've done it for you, and broken it down into high, medium, and low price point. And wherever possible, what style. So if you need a modern sofa, you go to the upholstery page and you need it in a low price point, it's broken down into a much more digestible list. There might be, I don't know, 15 different vendors that you could look at for that, instead of wandering through aimlessly at 300 vendors. So we have the amazing tool for you. And then the last bubble is inside a vendor folder. This is the Eastern Accents folder. And I can tell it's a older slide because we've renamed it. So Instructions to order is now named how to order, and each account holder that you would purchase from has one sheet that explains how they want you to order from them. It will answer 99 of your questions before you ever have to ask one. Then there's Eastern Accents happens to have an online sign-in. So for this vendor, you would use my sign-in and be able to go in and see all the prices and stock available. But most of the time, vendors don't have such a sophisticated website to do that. So what they do instead is they give you a PDF price list, and instead that would be in this folder for you to shop and price whenever is convenient for you. So that's a little peek into the inner workings of how it's done. So now here's the process. Okay, so you're a member and you want to purchase from manufacturer X. You create a PO for that sofa, and as if you had an account with manufacturer X, instead you're going to send it to let me start over. You create a PO for the sofa as if you had the account with manufacturer X. And instead of sending it to manufacturer X, you're going to send it to the TDC member, our designated vetted account holder for manufacturer X. Let's call her Jane. Jane receives your PO. You pay Jane for the PO and an admin fee of 11% of the product price. To manage your PO, customization, coordination, order entry, acknowledgement, shipping, follow-up. They'll take care of samples and, of course, any damages on arrival that might happen. Jane is your go-to point person for vendor X. So now, when your sofa is ready, manufacturer X ships it to you, and by you, we mean your receiving warehouse, and you take it from there, and that's it. That is the process, start to finish. So here are some frequently asked questions. How do I order samples? You can order samples through the TDC account holder. How are damages dealt with? You immediately let your account holder know with photos and a description, and they will take it from there. What if I don't have a receiving warehouse? Do not worry, we provide our members with a list of regularly updated, recommended receiving and delivery warehouses throughout North America. Can I still COM? Absolutely. Our members do it all the time. Just fill out the manufacturer's required paperwork and send it to the account holder with your purchase order, and they take it from there. Can I still order from my own accounts? Of course, we are here to increase your options, not restrict them. Do I need to be an account holder to join? No, you do not. Only if you want to. Okay, so here's the cost to join. It is $659 for the year, which, as you can see from previous slides, pays for itself in one order. You buy one rug or a whole room of wallpaper, and that price is paid for. So what comes with the membership is access to the shared Google Drive, our private Facebook group, which I have been told is worth the money alone, bi-monthly roundtable meetings with expert presenters, education tools and templates, exclusive digital tools like the Everything Shipping Warehouse and Delivery Guide, the online resellers guide, the trade program with trade programs, the Ultimate Source Guide, and many, many more. I'm constantly making new digital tools that help all of our members. Facebook Friday Lives with updates and industry intel. So during the week, will read Furniture Today and Business of Home and all of these other publications that maybe you don't have time to read or you're not subscribing to them. And I break it down for you. So I give you the cliff notes on Facebook Friday Lives and also any, updates that happen to be for TDC, like a meeting coming up or some survey that we sent out that we want you to fill out or things like that. So those happen in our Facebook group on Fridays. And then we also do our special market meetups, which I already told you about. The vibrant community of designers to lean on, and TDC trips to special locations for fun learning experiences. This past year, we went to Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, and saw a Amish and Mennonite trade show for all the made in America, really solid wood, hollow, really good quality manufacturers, and then took a tour and we did lots of other fun stuff, and it was a good time. So there's special trips that no one else is going to do because we're organizing them and putting stuff like that together. So that's what you get with your membership. It's a lot for a very small price per year. Now, I have a limited time offer for you. If you join TDC by July 1st, you're going to receive a 1-hour personal mentor session with me to dive into how you are currently sourcing, to offer you strategies and insight into vendors, deliveries, POs, and more. So I'm going to figure out exactly what you are doing now and how to help you navigate through TDC and also all the vendors and other things. So it's like a coaching session with me. The value is $550. That will be free for anyone who joins by July 1st. And just write in the line for the application when it asks, how did you hear about us? Just write the webinar. And I will know and be able to get you on my calendar for a 1-hour personalized session all about how you're sourcing and how to do it even better. Okay, so now time for questions. Let me stop sharing so I can see all the questions that you guys might have. And there's two ways that you can ask questions. There's the chat and there's also Q&A. I see we have one here. Is this a good fit for Canadians? It is, I believe, yes. We do cover North America. We don't have that many Canadian members, and I know tariffs have been making everyone's life so much more difficult. So yeah, that is a complication for sure, but I think it's going to settle down. We will know more July 1st, supposedly, unless things change again. But yes, it is. You're welcome to join as a Canadian, and we have some helpful things to get you through any learning curve that you might have. Okay, so there's another question. How do you handle vendors who have a specific time frame on returns? I have worked with furniture vendors who have a 5-day return window. This is a great question. So I don't like the word returns because it means you can decide that you don't like something, and that's not a thing in the world of wholesale. If you purchase from your local stores that are only giving you 10% commission, they might work with you in, okay, you didn't like it, the client didn't like it, we'll take it back because they have a showroom space to take it back. That is not the case with wholesale accounts. And also I worked at Ethan Allen for a couple of years, and I can tell you we didn't take things back. There was an armoire that we couldn't fit up a staircase. We didn't take it back. It was, you have to fit it in another room. That's what happened. So returns, not so much. Anything damaged, Yes, there is a time frame on when damages get reported, and that depends on what the vendor says. So every vendor's got a different way of doing things. Some are more strict, some are more lenient, some are like a pleasure and easy to deal with, while some's like you gotta pull teeth to get your either credit or a new one. But the account holder that orders for you is going to handle all of that. You just have to get them the photos and the description of what happened, and then they take it from there. So yeah, a 5-day return window is pretty good. Um, honestly, like that's just how it rolls. And with wholesale, when you are making 3 times what you would have somewhere else, you should be padding in and making sure that you're making like all of the money that you can. Do not decide to save your client money and hurt yourself on the back end when something could go wrong. You want to be able to completely cover yourself, making the most amount of money on every single piece that you sell. So it is I think designers, we are passionate about what we're doing, and we care so much, and we want that like pretty vase to be in the photo. So we discount the price way too much sometimes, and we hurt ourselves in the process. So make sure that you are pricing things properly. And then it shouldn't be an issue. So any more questions? I see people are putting it in the chat, so I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Go over to the Q&A, nothing over there. Okay, we have another question. Okay, so how do you handle items going out of stock? I mean, it's the same as anybody. It's now is a little bit almost like the pandemic, where because of tariffs, some vendors decided to say, we're going to hold off on getting that shipment that was ready to go. So right now is a bad time for stock issues. If you have like the wedding's happening and the house has to be perfect deadline, then I think you have to look at the quick ship programs and the things that tell you whether or not they're in stock. And even that gets tricky. This is a big conversation. So we have a list in that ultimate source guide that is quick ship and places where you can check stock. If a vendor has a good website where you can say whether or not they have 50 of this end table in stock, chances are you're going to get plenty of that. Like it's not running out. But if they only have 5 of it in stock, it could be that you placed your order on Monday, and by the time it's processed on Wednesday, uh, people who were ahead of you in line have taken that stock. And so there's no longer, there isn't 5 in stock anymore. So it just depends. I mean, thankfully, with most items these days, it's like a 4 to 6 week lead time. So it's not crazy. It's not insane. If it's a brand new item that somebody just introduced at market, those items take about 6 months to make. Anytime somebody's coming out with like a brand new collection, that will take time. This is like more, I'm answering more of the question than I need to probably. All right, Jacqueline has another question. Can you share contact info for the Canadian members you have with me directly so I can ask them about their experience? Yes, I can look that up for you. Let me make a note. So I do that after. I believe I have your email from registration. So Jacqueline R. Got it. Then comedian members. Okay. And then she's ordered from High Point before, and I'm very wary and concerned about freight and duty issues and extra fees, plus damage costs, returns. Do you also have receiving warehouses? Yes, I do. Oh, you're in Montreal. That's great. I love Montreal. Uh, yes, we have we have a list that includes a bunch of Canadian warehouses for you for that. The getting it across the border, yeah, it's a pain. But there are some vendors that are Canadian based, like Canadel, and a few others, but I can't remember their names. Just like a modern, anyway. So there's a few that we can source from, like on the same border as you. And then yes, there are more fees to get it across the border. But if you use what are they called? It's a broker that then handles the paperwork for you, takes care of the nitty-gritty taxes and whatnot. It does get done. I think you're going to make less than if you lived in America buying from an American vendor, but that's, that's what it is. I don't know if there's a way around it. So I'm glad that you're going to look into this, and I will email you after. And before I forget and people start signing off, I just wanted to let you know, we have 2 webinars coming up in the near future. So on the 25th, and as you're going to see my cat's tail probably in a second coming into because she has to have her say here. Okay, good. She's off screen. She's so distracting. So coming up on June 25th, we have writing a good purchase order for beginners. So that's a really good webinar that it's also free, and we'll have a great slideshow. So I'm going to go through like mistakes to avoid and all things like that. And then on July 24th, I'm going to do one about the pros and cons of using COM. So we're going to have a great bunch of webinars coming out for free that are geared to help you do better for this industry because it's very complicated. Okay, I'm looking for some more questions. Okay, I see one. In general, how is a buying group different from a platform like Designers Inc. and Daniel House? That's a great question. So the main difference is that TDC, the Designers Collaborative, is not making money off of you when you purchase the way another company would, because they're a company and they're going to make money off of you as you purchase. We make money off of you from a membership fee, and Daniel House also charges a membership fee, more money than ours too. We're like at, I think it's maybe $55 a month if you broke it down and divided it into 12. Daniel House is like, I forget, 70 something dollars a month. So we're cheaper. We have more vendors to offer you, and they're at much better pricing because we're giving you the stocking dealer price. And yes, there's an 11% to help the account holder do all the paperwork that they have to do to place that order for you and get you samples and make sure everything came in good and deal with any damages that maybe, God forbid, happen. So yeah, so that's the main difference, is that you're going to make more money with us. And also, every account holder is also a member like you and a designer, and they completely understand what it's like to have the client, because, whatever it is, I thought it was going to be here in 2 days because why isn't this Amazon? They get where you're coming from on things more than, a corporate place where you would purchase from. But I think the main difference is that you make more money with us, and we have a bigger list of vendors than most people. So we're very, it's community based. And then, okay, so Jacqueline Jacqueline from Canada is also wondering if it's worth the extra work. I don't know. We could chat if you want about like who you purchase from now, because if you purchase things now, yeah, it probably is. If it's an American company, I don't know how you're doing it now to see if it's better or not. And then the next question was, do you have the same vendors list as? No, we have more. DH is Daniel House. We have more vendors. We have over 300, and we also include kitchen and bath categories that I don't think anyone else does. So like plumbing fixtures and hardware, all those kinds of things are also included, and we're constantly expanding. So yeah, and I'm trying to see if I missed anybody. Okay. What is the exact time added to place an order through you? I don't think that there is extra time. Um, with some of the other platforms where you make less money, they might do a little bit more paperwork stuff for you. Like, they might price it for you, right? They might do that kind of thing. I don't know how they work. I have not joined. I don't need it. So I don't know exactly. But with our system, you price yourself. You are given 24/7 access. And when you need the Amanda sofa from Masad, you go into the Masad folder and you look up the Amanda chair, and then you price it up for yourself. And then if you had questions on that pricing, you can email the account holder and say, hey, I priced this up. You know, this is what I came up with. Does this look good to you? And they will let you know. Okay, so then the next comment was, because another busy designer is placing the orders, so if they have time to fit it in. Now, see, they've agreed. They've agreed to be an account holder. So they have a system in place. And if they, you know, we've had like maybe somebody say, I want to be an account holder, and then 2 months in say, you know what, this is too much work for me, so I'm gonna say never mind. And that's fine. You can decide to ebb and flow however you want as an account holder, but our account holders have been in place since like the beginning. Occasionally we get a new one, and out of 500 members, only 70 of them are account holders, and they have systems in place. A lot of them have staff that deal with this. And that's another thing. I would advise you getting a virtual assistant or someone who handles the order placing for you and the pricing for you. And, you know, you train them up and you get them up to speed, and they do it for you, because you know, it's like cleaning your house. Why would you clean your house if you can pay someone, you know, $300 who's going to do it way faster, way better, and that's time that you have back to do the things that you'd much rather be doing. So if you have a virtual assistant, they're generally like $50 an hour, give or take. Sometimes they'll do as little as 10 hours a month for you. So it doesn't have to be like, oh my God, this big thing of like hiring someone. A VA can take care of that processing stuff. And so, yeah. So the account holders are very on top of things. I don't have any complaints from people about how, you know, responsive they are. Okay, Jacqueline firing up the questions. She says, so I imagine the benefit to an account holder is their purchase volume goes up so they can personally get a better discount themselves. Yes, exactly. We've had account holders, you know, they started off with a good price point that, you know, was better than anyone else could get. And because the group has ordered so much, they've unlocked even better discounts, because you just, as you buy more, you qualify for that better price tier, so your price goes down. So their price is going down, and they're making 11% on the things that they've ordered. So there are benefits to being an account holder for sure. I even had one account holder say, you know, I had such a slow month, and the admin fees that I made off of selling, you know, a bunch of, you know, pieces for people covered my bills. So it's pretty powerful. It's win-win kind of stuff, where the account holder is going to do well, you're going to do well, then vendor's going to do well, and your client's going to do well because they're getting a really good price. It's a good holistic system. Okay, any more questions? We have plenty of time, so you can hit me with as many questions as you like. Make sure I'm not missing any over in the Q&A section. Nope, everybody's keeping it to chat. Okay. Well, if anyone realizes a question after we're done with this webinar, you can email us at admin@thedesignerscollaborative.com. My assistant Megan has a Calendly link that you can go and like schedule a time to even chat with her and discuss it even further. But okay, looks like I do have some more. Do vendors have any issues with account holders purchasing for other people? Some vendors do. Full transparency. Some vendors are weird and they have their old-fashioned policies. That's a whole nother long answer, but some vendors they feel weird about it. They don't know how to work with us, so they just sort of like throw their hands up and they don't deal. So we have sort of like a don't ask, don't tell policy where, you don't tell the vendor sometimes and they don't ask and then it's not a problem. Other vendors, like all of the vendors that I deal with, I want them to know. So because I'm an account holder for the group for like, I don't know, five different accounts. So all of my sales reps know, and a bunch of the owners of the companies know, and they're cool with it. They're like, this is great. So yeah, it's a mixed bag. And there's like our terriers, I won't even put them on our list because they blatantly say they do not want designers to have good pricing. That is blatantly what they say. So they can go pound sand. They're not on my list. If you can get an account with them so easily, and what kills me is they're all over the internet with pricing that you can get yourself. That's what kills me. Is like, how do you get off? How do you get off not wanting a designer to buy it at a decent price so that she can mark it up and make money on it? I don't understand. But yes, there is some vendors that have some issue with it. I can't control the world. So we do the don't ask, don't tell. It's a confidentiality. They don't need to know everything, It's fine. We get by. Okay, any more questions? Well, it's been great to have you all here. I hope you're having we're like at the halfway mark already of the year. So I hope you're having a really good year and I hope you finish your year strong. And feel free to attend all of our webinars that we're going to come up with having. June 25th is the writing a good purchase order for beginners. And I go through like the what not to do's and mistakes that have happened to people and how easy it can happen. So you want to attend that one. And then the pros and cons of using COM, that one's coming up in July. And then there's a bunch more after that, but we don't have them set up in Eventbrite yet for registration. So yeah, thank you guys for attending. It was great to chat with you in the little chat boxes. And if you have any more questions, we're here. We're willing to answer absolutely honesty. Oh, you know what? Okay, let me throw this out there before you sign off. If anyone has a vendor that they would like me to price for them, you put that in the chat. Tell me the vendor name, the item number, and I will go look it up in real time and tell you what the price is. I'm going to wait for you to say if you have that or not. I sprung that on you last minute. So it may not be like, oh, I don't have my paperwork in front of me, or I'm not even working on a project right now where I know I need this chandelier or this whatever. Okay. Doesn't seem like anybody has something at the ready, but I'm willing to go and price it and show you. Yeah, you can, and if you're part of any of the other services like Daniel House or Designer Inc., if you're part of any of those kind of things, you can price something, send us, what it is that you want to price on, and we will price it for you, and you can see just how good our price is compared to anybody else's. Okay. I don't see anybody coming through with some chat, so I guess I'm going to sign off. Thank you very much for attending. Be in touch if you have any more questions, and have a great rest of your day.